Hey there, and welcome back to another week of tips and ideas on how to create an indoor space that truly supports your health and wellness. I'm Amanda. I am a healthy home expert, a building biologist, and a home inspector. And this week we're going to talk about some ideas and concepts to really get you started or keep you going on your healthy home journey. So everybody starts somewhere. Even I started at ground zero, making a way to create a healthy home step by step. And that's truly the best way to do it, is to just layer on step by step of creating a healthy home. That's how I teach my clients. That's how I teach you guys. And it's what works best when you're trying to add habits and practices that you want to maintain for the long haul. And so this week I am going to cover some idea and mindset shifts that will really help you and benefit you as you move along your healthy home journey. But I'm also going to give you the 8 steps that you need to get started with, the things that are the most important, the items that you can check off your list that will have the most impact on your home's health and wellness and also your health and wellness. I also am sharing with you my free training in the blog post this week, so you can go to the link at the end of the video description. And I'm also sharing with you information on how to get into the Healthy Home Blueprint, which is my full course that covers this plus the next steps in your healthy home journey.
So can we just stop and take a minute to really appreciate just how possible it is to really embrace healthy living and truly create a healthy home? I honestly think this from the bottom of my heart. We have so many resources and a wealth of information at this current time that we can really take our homes and healthy living to the next level. But one of the biggest hurdles I see otherwise healthy families facing is that they just don't know where to go next. So yes, we have all of these resources, but which ones are the next right step? Which ones will really make your home healthier? Which of these tasks will have the most impact on your home? And all of this confusion makes total sense. There's almost too much information out there telling us all kinds of different advice. You can head to Google to find any solution for anything you need, but the results can actually be conflicting and overwhelming at best. So just imagine these steps being laid out for you when it comes to reducing toxins in your home. No more wondering what you should do next. No more Googling. Instead, imagine you get like a list of the most impactful steps to take and what order to take them in to create the ultimate healthy home space. All you have to do is go through and check these items off as you do them. You get the easy part of simply doing the actions instead of trying to figure out what those actions might be. So this blog post is going to walk you through the first 8 steps that I like to take my families through when they're working to reduce toxins in their home. The full set of steps is all laid out for you in the Healthy Home Blueprint, which is essentially what you might think, a blueprint for a healthy home that you can create on your timeline. And I have a free training that you can watch, and you'll get a 50% off discount when you watch that and go to sign up for the Healthy Home Blueprint. So let's start with some mindset shifts that you can make for a healthier home. I will be honest, sometimes you just have to start thinking about things in a different way for them to fall into place. Creating a healthy home doesn't have to be all about consuming and buying new products or items. It doesn't have to cost you a lot, and it doesn't need to be an intricate process of complicated projects either. So by adjusting your mind for healthy living to embrace flexibility and be open-minded to new habits and changes, you will move along the healthy home track at a more rapid pace. Sometimes we have to remember with healthy living, the things we stop buying and the things we stop doing are almost as important as the new habits and changes that you'll be making. So another adjustment you can make is to really embrace the idea that you can only do the best with what you have. If that means just working on the habit changes rather than bigger projects, that is great. Any step forward in healthy living is an important part of the process to your overall health and your wellness. So let's look at some impactful yet simple steps and why they are the best. That's what we're going to talk about later on today, but I want to talk about why these are important. So I love to help my clients figure out what the most impactful changes are to their space. And once we know what changes are going to have the most impact on their healthy home, then it's time to find the simplest of those changes to make. This is the best way to start when you are taking your healthy living into your healthy living space. So by focusing on the changes that will be the simplest for you to make, it's easy to start a snowball of changes and habits. By layering on one change after another, your home becomes healthier more quickly. And this also helps habits stick. So it's much easier to add just one habit at a time that will help you reduce toxins from your space. You're more likely to stick with these changes to your healthy lifestyle as you add more without getting overwhelmed. So let's take a look at the specific steps. The first step is going to be improving your indoor air ventilation. So by improving indoor air ventilation, you can reduce CO2 in your air, VOCs, and other toxins like formaldehyde that off-gas into your space. And the more energy efficient your home is, the more important ventilation is to your healthy home. So ventilation does one of two things. The first way is that it improves your air by moving your indoor air and toxins from inside to the outside. And the second way your indoor air benefits from ventilation is by diluting the indoor air and toxins with fresh air from the outside. So you can see that ventilation is a huge part of improving your indoor air at home by reducing toxins that can impact your immune system, your respiratory system, your endocrine system, and natural hormone production. So my exact formula for improving ventilation in your home can be found in the Healthy Home Blueprint, but essentially it is these 4 steps. First is to open windows, even for short periods of time in the winter. This will help dilute toxic indoor air with that fresh outdoor air. Then you will want to run any sort of fan you have connected to your HVAC unit. You can do this without heat or air conditioning. You'll just switch your HVAC thermostat from auto to on, and it will move air throughout your home, circulating fresh air that comes inside. Then you're going to make sure you're using your vented fans. My general rule of thumb is during use in whatever room you are in, so the bathroom, the laundry room, the kitchen, and then for 20 minutes after you are done using that room. So sometimes you can get a timer, otherwise you can just go back in and turn it off. And then finally, we want to utilize those ceiling fans. This will help circulate air within a particular room, and it will not only bring fresh air inside to dilute toxins, but it will also push air outside as well and just make the ventilation process a lot more efficient. So the second thing we're going to do is get rid of dust. I say this all the time. Dust is more than just unsightly. It actually is filled with toxins and bacteria. In fact, there have been studies that have shown that the worst toxins that end up inside our home come from dust particles, including pesticides, flame retardants, PFCs, and phthalates. So these chemicals have been labeled as carcinogenic, endocrine and hormone disruptors, as well as they are linked to reproductive problems. So there are some really simple ways that you can start working in dust removal to your healthy living habits. And I promise you'll actually love the results in your home, which will help offset kind of that dread of doing the chore. So you can use things like a HEPA filter vacuum and get in the habit of vacuuming on a regular basis. Some areas like an entryway or mudroom might need vacuuming even once a day, and other areas you can get away with just doing weekly. And then you'll want to get in the habit of dusting your home every 1 to 2 weeks. So make sure you don't miss areas like HVAC grates, ceiling fans, and hard to reach places that collect dust. And then finally, make sure that you're replacing your furnace filter on a regular basis. You want to make sure that your filters are at least a MERV 12. And if you can find furnace filter with carbon, it's a total healthy home bonus. I actually prefer the Nordic Air that I'm sharing here. And I have a number of tools and items that you can purchase that will help you remove dust from your home. Wet mops, that dusting mitt is my absolute favorite and actually makes it kind of fun for the kids to dust. Of course, my Medify air filter, and then my favorite vacuum is the Shark Navigator Lift Away. So the third thing we're going to do is leave our shoes and bags at the door. So don't forget about the bags. Removing shoes at the door and bags at the door and creating this no shoe policy in your own home can actually help reduce the amount of dust and dirt coming into your home in the first place. So you can utilize a rug to help catch the particles before they get tracked around your home. This is a great way to encourage people to actually leave their shoes at the door too. Shoes and bags can bring in toxins from outside, including toxins from asphalt, which we would walk through, and the dust would be on our shoes. This has been linked to an elevated risk of cancer. Your bags and shoes can also bring in pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, and we are then bringing that into our house as well. So the idea is that your entryway is kind of like this gateway to your home. You can use this space to leave bags, backpacks, and anything else that has been out in our toxic world instead of letting them into your home and maybe on countertops or beds. And in this week's blog post, I have also linked another post that goes into the specifics of creating a healthy entryway. And it's a really great place to start tackling that gateway of your home. So number 4, we're going to throw away all air fresheners and scented candles. Synthetic fragrances, as we know, are basically a concoction of chemicals mixed together to mask the smell of a product. These chemicals often contain volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, that affect hormone production and the reproductive function. Anything with fragrance generally contains neurotoxins. So phthalates are found in fragrance compounds, which are considered to be trade secret, and so the specifics are often unknown. These toxins, as well as chemical sensitizers that are added to the products, both have been classified as neurotoxins that negatively impact the brain. Imagine how you could detox your space if you got rid of scented candles, air fresheners, wax melts, or air sprays. It's a huge source of your home's toxic load that can be easily avoided. And what if you were able to get rid of all of your air fresheners and scented candles? Do you know just how beneficial that would be to your home? And I know you think you're going to miss them, but I promise you, as someone who loved scented candles, you truly will barely notice once they're gone. So number 5 is to work on reducing humidity levels in your home. The ideal level for a home, the humidity inside, is between 35% and 40%. Anything lower and you'll feel incredibly uncomfortable, and anything higher, you increase your chances of mold growth, dust mite reproduction, and you increase the rates at which VOCs off gas in your home. So a simple hygrometer is key to knowing what your humidity levels are, and I highly recommend having this tool in your own home. Most of the time you can manage to lower high humidity levels with just a couple habit changes. So you can run vented fans during and after cooking, bathing, and doing laundry. You can use ceiling fans to circulate air. We want to pay attention to our indoor plants. Don't overwater them. You also don't want to overwater your lawn or garden that's next to your home. We want to refrain from line drying laundry inside, and then you can even cook with lids on your pots. And if that still doesn't work, you can always add a dehumidifier to your space. I have a download in this week's blog post that will help you create the perfect indoor humidity levels. And it's super helpful if you need to raise or lower them. It gives you some ideas for both. Number 6, we're going to get electronics out of the bedroom. So my recommendation to all of my clients is that they actually remove electronics from their room completely. But I totally get that sometimes You may need a baby monitor or a sound machine in your room to get a good night's sleep too. So the second best scenario is to keep at least 6 feet between your bed and electronics in the room. So the reason is EMFs produced by electronics are harmful to not only our sleep, but also our body as a whole, and they tend to drop off after about 6 feet. So first we have to understand that our body has natural electromagnetic fields, and our natural EMFs vibrate at a low number of cycles. Electromagnetic fields from electronics vibrate at a very high rate of oscillation. So the discrepancy between these two rates of humans and electronics is what can prevent you from falling asleep. They have also found that the higher vibrations of unnatural EMFs can pull you out of a deep sleep, which will disrupt your sleep process, leaving you tired. There's actually a study performed in '99, and it showed that magnetic fields in the same room as a sleeping person caused a decrease in their REM sleep as well as a broken sleep pattern. The same study also showed that the pineal gland's production of melatonin, which is what helps you fall asleep, was decreased when individuals were exposed to more EMFs during the day. So think about that. That means that your exposure to electromagnetic fields during the day can actually inhibit your sleep at night. And the other way that electronics and electromagnetic fields can disrupt your sleep is by the light that is given off by the electronics that create the EMFs. So when you watch TV or you look at your phone, your body's natural response to the bluish light is to decrease the production of melatonin. Melatonin is what your pineal gland produces to help you fall asleep and stay asleep. And this is why we sleep in dark rooms and why it's generally easiest for us to fall asleep at night. So getting these electronics out of your room is going to be so beneficial to falling asleep and to staying asleep. So number 7, let's pare down our cleaning products. And please do not gloss over this section, even if you think you already have a healthy cleaner. I am here to tell you that even brands that are touted as healthy have been totally greenwashing us all. So take inventory of your own cleaners and your cleaning cabinet with the help of a third-party app. Maybe Think Dirty, EWG, there's a handful of them, and get rid of anything with toxic ingredients. So one of the best changes that we ever made in our home when we were adjusting our healthy living habits was to actually use a concentrated cleaner. And the reason is it works for multiple uses. I researched and tried some of the most popular ones, and the one we settled on and have been using for the past few years is Aspen Clean. And I love this one for everyday use in the kitchen, in the bathroom. It is EWG verified, and it's a concentrated cleaner, so that bottle that you see lasts forever. And then I also use simple things that I have around the house for cleaning, such as peroxide, vinegar, baking soda, and organic tea tree oil. Now, I realized that by simplifying my cleaning products, I was naturally bringing in fewer toxins and creating a healthy home in a very organic way without much work. The last thing I want to talk about is investing in a water filter. So that's right, before you even consider getting an air purifier, I would love for you to have a water filter added to your healthy home. We consume so much water throughout the day, and this water, even treated city water, can come to us with so many contaminants. There are PFAS, mercury, lead, arsenic, radon, nitrates, pesticides. The list goes on to over 200 harmful chemicals and toxins that end up in our drinking water. We ingest these toxins when we drink or eat food that uses the water coming out of our faucet, which can not only impact our overall body, but specifically our gut microbiome, our hormone production, our brain, and our cardiovascular system. So contaminated drinking water is a serious issue in many homes, and it actually goes unnoticed by many until health concerns arise. So the great news is you don't have to get an expensive filtration system right away. I will tell you that anything is better than nothing. And so you can start with a water pitcher and then work up towards a water filtration system for your sink, and then ultimately a whole home system. So if you were to break down these steps, it might look like the first step is to just get a high quality water pitcher. This would be like your first tier. And then once you have it in your budget, you could get a point of use multi-stage water filter system. This might be at your kitchen sink. This would be your second tier. And then finally you could invest in a whole house water filtration system, and this would be the third tier. And you could use all of them together, or you could maybe just use the second tier and the third tier. But I have tons of resources on my site that pertain to water and water filtration systems, and I would invite you to take a look at this week's blog post where I have all of those linked. So whether you're at the beginning stages of figuring out how healthy living and your healthy home go hand in hand, or maybe you're ready to take the next steps forward, I am here with resources to guide you through the journey and process. I know it can feel like big changes, but remember that any small step forward has a positive impact on your health and your wellness.
Well, I am so thankful you're here, and I am so thankful that you too are on a healthy home journey. I hope you will subscribe to my channel because I am here every single week with new ideas, new tips, new advice on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness.